Hello, everybody, and welcome to another phenomenal edition of the Musings show. I'm excited about this one and happy to be in the company of some very extraordinary women who are here with me today. So I'll go ahead and start. This is Egbe Mbiwan Monjimbo, Vosaworld Radio. And then I'm going to go ahead and ask the ladies to go ahead and introduce themselves, beginning with, I'm going to read the names as I see them, with Dr. PAMELA TANYI-TIKU, ASSAM. Please go ahead and start, introduce yourself to our audience.
Good morning, Mrs. Egbe Mbiwan Monjimbo, and thank you so much for having us this morning.
You're welcome.
My name is Dr. PAMELA TANYI-TIKU, ASSAM, and I am the National President of MANYU Women's Association, MOHWA, Global United States Chapter.
Okay. Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you. And then I'll go on up to Madam Ayamba ARREY. She's going to go ahead and introduce herself briefly to us.
Good morning, Sister Egbe. My name is Ayamba ARREY. I'm the Assistant Secretary General of the MOHWA Global USA Chapter.
Welcome to the show. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
And I saved the senior member for last out of respect. I'm going to have Mami Jenny there introduce herself to us and tell us who she is with the association.
Good morning, Ms. Egbe, Mbiwan Monjimbo. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
My pleasure.
Panel today. It's my pleasure. My name is Ms. Jenny EYONG. I'm the National Advisor of MOHWA Global USA Chapter.
All of you are so very welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here. Have your pretty faces join me here. But as you've heard them say, the common denominator you heard them say there is MOHWA. And you can see they're dressed alike. You can't just see the wrappers, but you can see the head ties. They're dressed alike. And they've talked about MOHWA, which not everybody may know what it is. So I'm going to start there from the beginning. So what is MOHWA?
Well, thank you once again for that question. MOHWA is a pet name. My child in Kenya, one of the dialects of MANYU division, Cameroon. It all started as MAWWA, M-A-W-W-A.
Okay.
And MAWWA, M-A-W-A. An association of women from MANYU, wives of MANYU sons. The very first branch called MANYU Women Workers Association started in Douala, Cameroon in February 1985.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Douala, Cameroon in February 1985, at the inspiration of Mami Cecilia Ejara Tiku, called founder today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to ask you, curious, is she still alive and well?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
She is doing well. Yeah. And to continue, I don't know if you want to ask another question.
No, I just wanted to know what the history was, how it started. Okay. And I would really be interested one day to talk to that founder to see how she feels to have seen how much the group has grown and spread. Because the other day, an aunt of mine was in South Africa there, and they were launching a chapter there.
Yes.
And I was like, this is really something. It has really grown and spread. What is what is the mission? You said it's women from MANYU, women themselves from MANYU, and spouses of men from MANYU too as well. Yes. So what is its mission? What are the goals? Why was the association founded to start with? What was the reason?
All right. So I am going to answer that question. This is Ayamba ARREY once again. The goal is to promote unity amongst the MANYU women and to help improve their lives socially, academically, and of course, economically. And also to foster friendship and promote solidarity amongst members through sharing of different ideas and, of course, discussions like this one.
Yeah, that's definitely a worthy goal, because they say unity brings strength. When you come together, you can achieve a lot of things on your own as an individual, which is a good thing. But then the coming together and putting all of those strengths together makes it that much more powerful and meaningful as well. So what's the structure like? Because you talked about the founding member in Douala, and then now there are others. So how does it work? Like, you are here in the United States, how does it work? What's the structure like within this group itself, and within, how does it fit with the other mother group, if I can call it that?
Yeah. Thank you again. Of course, structures in every organization, they help members to understand the different roles and responsibilities of each member's role there. MOHWA globally has chapters all over the world. And with our Alpha chapter, Cameroon, which is strong and dynamic executive group. And we also have the global president, who is also a member of the Cameroon chapter. So to narrow it down to the global SA chapter, we have 9 branches in the United States of America. And we also have the national EXCO, including executives from the different branches, and we have the General Assembly. We also have MOHWA Global Canada, MOHWA Global France, MOHWA Global Germany, MOHWA Global Nigeria, MOHWA Global South Africa, as you noted earlier, and of course, MOHWA Global England.
Wow, that is a very thorough and very widespread and deeply rooted organization that you have right there. So would I take it that some of the projects you do individually, naturally, based on the geography, you do something for your own area, and do you do some of them then collaboratively, or how does it actually work when you want to do your actual projects? Sorry, Doc, you're muted still.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
That's
Yes,
okay.
thank you. I will step in there. So MOHWA Global has chapters in 19 countries. We actually have a chapter in China too.
Wow.
Just to add to what Mayamba said. And actually, I was at the South African launch. I have attended all the launches so far in all the chapters globally. But to add to answer your question with regard to our projects, we do foster some projects as chapters. For example, right now, we are working on a great project for what is locally called Rentrée Scolaire, a return to school project. And we are providing books to all schools, secondary, primary, and high schools in MANYU division.
Fantastic.
Yes. And sometimes we do work collaboratively with not just MOHWA chapters. We do work with other organizations. For example, Mecca, England, partnered with MOHWA Global, Cameroon, and provided sanitary pads to girls in MANYU division.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all the instability in Cameroon right now, little things like just as simple as sanitary pads could be a roadblock.
Correct.
For young girls feeling free to go to school. And I must also say that we just don't touch just the young girl. We try to touch the mother because, as you know, in our MANYU culture, the woman is the foundation of the family unit.
Correct.
And we know that if you empower a girl or a mother, you empower the whole nation.
That's right.
So, and that is why we identify ourselves as this MANYU women empowerment group. And we don't want that to sound a little bit condescending, just like our motto states, solidarity, empowerment, and development. Empowerment of the woman doesn't mean that the woman, a MANYU woman, would compete with the husband. That's not what that means. It simply means that we identify those structures, we identify the opportunities to give a woman the financial independence for her to help the husband or the spouse to raise the children.
Correct.
To empower that woman, the MANYU woman, and deter her from historical perspectives that when you call a Bayange woman, people will think about certain things.
I know. I'm one.
Exactly. So now what we do is we empower the MANYU woman with simple things like farm tools. Mami Jenny can speak a little bit to this later on. We empower them, like just in hospitals. I know they took some pet projects back then, which were like just providing simple medical equipment into the maternity wards in certain hospitals. And then, like I said, providing sanitary pads to girls. And we have other projects that we can elaborate as time comes on.
Gladly. I'm impressed to hear that, because you seem to be doing both micro and macro things, because some people center themselves on just one side of things and ignore the other side, whereas both are important. It's good to be able to help people where they find themselves. Not saying they all necessarily need to get an education and get out of the country or go to here or go there. What about the women? Giving them the farm tools if they choose to be in agriculture, which is what a good number of them do, then give them the tools to help them do the agriculture successfully. And then if they're going to get an education, then they go get the education. That's a good thing to hear. And I'm glad you emphasized the whole idea about what empowerment really means. Because sometimes you say empowerment and the men just jump up and say, we don't tire, no one here. They want to have they're going to bring Ubasabi women to come and do that really is not the point. You have explained it so well. Because a woman, hey, we have had cases where what if, unfortunately, God forbid, the woman ends up being a widow, you're not there anymore. How is she going to raise the children you left behind if she wasn't empowered and start making any living of her own? So thank you for saying it that way. So it looks like you're a very accomplished group. I was just wondering if there are any, if you want to go back a little and would I call it extrapolate, or talk a little bit more about what you have accomplished already, what you have down your belt already, and then what maybe you're looking forward to doing also in the future.
So again, I would take that. So, and I would start with MOHWA USA chapter. When I look back from our launch, we were officially launched in 2019 by Cameroon.
Okay, that's okay.
Yes.
Oh, and COVID hit not long after that.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So, and since then we've grown, but our biggest accomplishment last year, oh no, it was this year, was we did acquire a trademark protection. So MOHWA, being founded by our mothers, and we proudly stand by our mothers, we just wanted to protect that brand name. Because as you know, MOHWA is the first MANYU Women Association in the diaspora.
Okay.
Would I say MANYU Women? I think even I could say a Cameroonian female association with this magnitude in the diaspora.
I see. So not because we know about Mecca, we know about other ones, but this one is specifically is the oldest, you say?
The oldest
female.
female.
Yes.
Cultural association.
Correct.
In the diaspora. And with that, we thought that protecting this name, which we look like something so insignificant, But if you look at the historical perspective of MOHWA, you would know this is something that is worth protecting. So we of MOHWA Global USA partnered with Cameroon and decided to patent this name of MOHWA.
Okay.
So today, MOHWA is a patented trademark, just like Coca-Cola, like Pepsi. And
Wow.
that's going to help us open up a lot of doors and more initiatives for us.
Because that makes it a legal, it actually is, it's legally established, not just your regular Njangi, let's just meet and talk.
Right.
It has,
Exactly.
yeah.
Some kind of protection.
It does.
Yes, yes. And which means even this wrapper we are wearing, the logo, our anthem, the colors, and the design, those are all trademark protected.
Wow.
Yes. So, and this project was really backed forcefully by MOHWA Global USA. Just like we were saying before, for those of us who have who find ourselves now in the diaspora, we've learned a lot. Why not take some of those things and empower our queens back home?
Right.
And enlighten our people back home.
Correct.
So that was our biggest achievement of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Global USA is a 501c3 organization, which means whatever you donate to us is tax deductible.
Correct.
And this group grew from 17 women in 3 branches to today, we have 9 branches in the US and over 200 women.
Wow.
Yes. And
that is a lot of growth in that short amount of time. From 2019 to now, you go from 17 to 200. That is like, if you have to do the graph, it goes right up there.
Yes, and we still have great opportunity for growth. We are visualizing that with our open enrollments this coming year in January, we would see some more growth and gladly welcome it.
Right.
Yeah, MOHWA, we have to take care of ourselves and not saddle our families with certain unwanted bills. So we have a life insurance policy of $20,000 that every single member of MOHWA Global USA benefits in case of demise.
Right.
So that member, the member's family, would at least have something to
fall back on.
To fall back on, yes. And when I would say accomplishments, I just don't want to leave it as that. We have had great accomplishments too with our local branches and as a national structure. So I will start nationally because I'm the national president. Last year, we had, during our last year's convention hosted in Atlanta, Georgia, we visited a soup kitchen and went Food for Lives soup kitchen in Atlanta. And we went and packed food for them. We helped them clean and we just helped them align and, took care of everything, cleaned their surrounding and packaged their food. And it was very great initiative to give back to our community too.
Right.
As the national branch.
Right.
National chapter. Now with our local branches, we do a lot of philanthropic initiatives too. East Coast donated materials to, I think it was a foster home. Atlanta, Georgia did the same thing. Our DMV District of Maryland and Virginia branch, they also donated supplies to, I think it was a foster home also. And I come from the Chicago branch, and we donated supplies to a shelter. for battered women. And these are the kinds of accomplishments and things that we have done. And then last but not the least, I know we touched a little bit on this, but I would like to really, really hit hard on this too. We take care of ourselves also. And in our local branches, we do support each other in times of joy and in times of sorrow. For myself, when we renewed our vows last year, these ladies were there to support, and that made a difference. They showed up in this wrapper in church, sang their choruses. I mean, when I walked into church, I was like, oh my God.
Yes, and it makes a difference.
So stressed out, but I was like, oh my God, only these women can do this for you. Right. So we do that, and we support our members locally during their childbirth, their birthdays. We celebrate each other. And in times of death in the family, we are getting ready to go to Boston right now because one of our sisters lost her husband. So next weekend, next Saturday, this time would be in Boston, Massachusetts, to send him home. So those are the kinds of things that we do. And in a short time, we have accomplished this and pulled ourselves together to not only take care of ourselves, but to take care of the rest of us, those in Cameroon, and we touch other people in other diaspora chapters.
That is very elaborate and very, it's a thing you cannot help but applaud it. Because sometimes you think about, okay, if you're MANYU women, then help only MANYU. And then you forget that you live here though. So you should be helping the people around you here too, because they are women too. A woman's cause is a woman's cause. We may have different skin color, different experiences, but it's good to, where you are planted, to also help the people around you. And then, as you say, it should not only be helping other people. Sometimes look at your own selves too, because people go through a lot in this crazy country of ours. There's nothing like getting the support in times of joy, like you said, and in times of sorrow, even more, to look around and not just your Oyibo neighbors, like like you would say. It's different when somebody comes in through your door and is wailing the real country style. It's a very different thing from the little. Our culture is there with us, and it makes a difference when you see somebody who you can relate with on that level. From the kinds of songs that are being sung, the kinds of food that is being offered, it makes a difference. So it's a wonderful thing that you're doing that. And so we've talked about what has gone really well so far. What have the challenges been, if any? Because first thing I noticed, COVID. We started as a group, an association, and then bam, COVID hits. I know that must have caused the problem. Any other challenges? What would you like to see done better? How do you think you can improve on what you're already doing? Or what would you like to see what would you like to see happen differently or better? Who's going to take that question? Have you had any challenges? Or has it been smooth sailing all along? Everything's good. You don't have much to complain about. You just thinking about just growth, or what has there been? What would you like to see happen differently or better?
So what we would like to see happen differently is, of course, continue to perfect what we are doing right now. And right now, what we are really seeking for is to have international acclamation.
Okay.
Yes. So if we can have international acclamation and we can knock on those doors.
Okay, I see now where you're going.
That can really support us to enable us do what we need to do. It will foster our mission even further.
Yeah, you thinking like grants, things like that?
Correct.
Okay.
Like grants, like exposure.
Okay.
Not just grants, but exposure, because these women, you know, when you say women empowerment, it's not just financial.
Right.
It's those people you meet with. For example, at the
Correct.
Democratic National Convention that was in Chicago last week, I do a lot of other philanthropic work, and I have served in other boards too, so I was invited. I couldn't attend the whole thing, but I went one day. And I met this lady who met with the Vice President Kamala Harris. And when she was expressing it, I could just look at her and see how good she felt. So can you imagine that? If we can have more exposure that pivots us to meeting these people, what difference that would make in people's lives?
Correct. The idea of networking.
Correct.
If you meet other people, networking, mentorship, that kind of a thing.
Yes.
And just get more. I don't want to say myself. I think we are the ones kind of lagging behind, because I see I would call our neighbors Nigerians.
Yes.
Oh, they do that a whole lot. They are everywhere you can possibly think of. They are there and lobbying and getting things done that work both for the group, their own group right here, and then back home. That's how you see people collaborating, doctors going out there to do free checkups and things like that. I think I get what it is that you're saying. That would be wonderful. So do you have any future projects that you actually have earmarked now, specifically for, like, say 2025? How do you do it? Like in those days, 5-year development plan, or how do you do it? Is it yearly you meet and then you say, here's what we're going to do this coming year, and then the next year that way? Or do you have like long-term goals, short-term goals? How does that work?
Ladies, you want me to take that again? It seems like I'm the only one talking.
You can talk
also
on the
thrilled
projects.
by what you're saying. We're just going on and on listening to you.
Well, I just want to remind the national president of MOHWA USA Global, if she is forgotten, we have a very a project that is in our hearts, in the hearts of every MOHWA Global woman, which is our multi-purpose project in Manfei, which is, as you all know, the mother branch on the seat of MANYU, the seat of MOHWA in Cameroon. Manfei, we have that project that was started some years back under the leadership of the then president of MOHWA Global. That project is on now. It has been revived by the current president of MOHWA Global, Professor Comfort Ojonkpot. So that's one of the projects that we have to carry out. Come rain, come shine, that project has to stand. So that's one of the, I think, the major projects globally that we embark on.
Okay. So you're raising funds for it then?
Yes. Initially, like you all know, like we all know, we have been doing the fundraising on our own single-handedly. All the women levied an amount of money to pay for projects, which is, as you all know, not too substantial. We are appealing out there to support us. We have to go out and seek funds from donors, from our patrons. Of course, we have patrons all over the world. All the chapters have patrons, the branches, and the parent association in Cameroon. So we are appealing. We'll go out and appeal. We are in the process of making our contributions on our own, but we are appealing that those sponsors should come and help us to put that structure up.
Let me jump right in there now and then say, okay, so somebody's listening to this, watching this, because that's the whole purpose. It's going to be broadcast on radio and then get on YouTube and be there. So somebody's listening and saying, hey, I either am a MANYU woman, my own self, a MANYU son of MANYU, my own self, or I just like the thing. I've enjoyed their culture, their music. Everybody eats eru. This is the source of the thing. So I want to help somehow, help these women. How do they do that? So how do they do the donation that somebody wants to make? How can that be done?
Okay, I will take that. So we are on the web. That is www.mowaglobal.org.
Okay.
So you can find us on the web page and just click on the donate button.
All right. Just let me not to cut you short, but let us spell that MOWWA, because I myself had put an H at the end of it at one time when it's so let's make sure that we're spelling the MOWWA right. So www, everybody knows that part. How is MOWWA spelled?
MOHWA.
Correct.
And
then it's a .org, right?
.org, correct.
Correct. So www.MOHWA.org.
Correct.
So if they get on there, does it say like there's a link for them to
Yes,
a tab for them to click for donate?
Click for donate, yes.
Okay.
And if I could just please expatiate a little bit on the project that multi-purpose, because that is a big project.
Okay.
That globally it's all hands on deck. So this multi-purpose center, it's a center that we have a piece of land in Mamfe that was donated to the association a long time ago. And so they started putting up a structure, but it's stalled. So now we are breaking it down and starting all over again. Afresh. So what we visualize to put on that in that center is a center where you would have a computer lab, a cookery center, a sewing center, and a daycare center. And we also want to have like an event center where we can rent out the event center, generate funds, so those funds would help take care of the project once we're done.
Makes sense.
So it
because
generates
we can be notorious sometimes for building huge, wonderful things no plans for maintenance and
correct. So that is what the vision, that is what we visualize doing. So now this center would be very specific for the mothers, those who have not been opportune, like those of us here, you know, to go for higher heights.
Okay.
Those who are local and did not have the opportunities what we have, they can go there and learn a trade.
Okay, so you'll have people who will be like giving lessons.
Lessons, correct.
Okay.
Correct. So those women can go there and learn a trade, but if they are with their children, they can leave the children at the daycare center while they learn the trade to empower themselves.
Because that's the number one thing why they will not go.
They will not go.
If nobody's going to watch your children for you, then that's the number one reason why you will not be able to go. And then I guess is there an age limit for this kind of a thing? I'm asking a rhetorical question because I think I already know the answer. Is there an age limit? There you go.
No age limit, because we want everybody empowered.
Correct. Because what happens with regular school is after a while, they say you don't repeat class 6, repeat this one, you have done so and so thing. Then you are 18. How can you go back to primary school?
Right.
So then it becomes a stigma, the old girl, the old girl in the class kind of a thing. So for most people, that is the end of your education if you do not get it when it was the quote unquote right age. Whereas education is supposed to be a lifelong thing. Who learn any skill that can help you feed yourself and your family. Yes, please.
Let me also add there that the focal point is the MANYU girl child, because these are the individuals who are at risk of early childbirth, risk of traumatic experiences. So these are the people who are trying to generate lots of these resources to help prevent those things from happening to them.
Correct. And then to help those for whom it has already happened to still pick up and continue. Because I remember back in my day, you all are younger, but for Mami Jenny here, oh, carry belle, that's the end of your life right there. Nothing is going to happen to you after that. You just have lost going to school, so you just end up being neither here nor there. Whereas it can help to prevent, but it can also help those who are already there, who think they've fallen and don't have much of a future to look forward to learn a trade and pick up from there and become a useful contributor to society, and then at least take care of your own self. That is very impressive. So is there going to be, are the events for this year done? Because this is already September. And so do we have events planned for next year? Like, where's the next convention? Where's the next something happening that we can look forward to?
So yes, the next convention, our next convention is would be August next year in the DMV area. Right, and we please inviting, just throwing it out and inviting everybody, let the word go out, come and see these women. And our conventions are usually very rich. Friday nights are very culturally rich events. You would see all our chapters globally. They are represented from South Africa to Cameroon, Nigeria, Europe, Asia. All the chapters come with their cultural expositions.
Display, yeah.
Yes, cultural displays. We also have our food, because you can't speak culture without gastronomy.
Yes, that's part of that's an intrinsic part of it. Definitely. There is the dance, there is the singing, there is the gastronomy, like you say.
Yes.
That's part of people's identity as a group of people.
Exactly. And the dressing too.
Correct.
And the dressings, they're usually very colorful events. And Saturdays, we have the gala. And that day's fundraising events. But what we do is we continuously fundraise throughout the year.
Correct.
So our fundraisers are they non-stop, they continuous, but on that day, you can come and fundraise, and usually we have our patrons, patronesses come and highlight us with their big pockets.
Big and deep.
And also to add on what the president just said, on Saturday morning, we try as much as possible to incorporate and try to do some charitable services.
Yes,
where we can go to maybe soup kitchen again, whatever DMV wants us to do on that day. Of course, so that to keep our 501c3 status
relevant. Because that's the thing. They want to make sure that, okay, we're exempting you from taxes. What is it that you are giving back to? How are you helping the community? The one that you actually live in. That's what I keep repeating that. Because yes, you're MANYU women, your focus is MANYU. You want to help the MANYU woman, the MANYU girl child. But then there's people around you where you happen to be that may need your help. That is very enriching to hear. It sounds like a very dynamic group of women. Well, but when MANYU women are gathered and involved in anything, it cannot be anything but dynamic. They're dynamic by nature. So I want to congratulate you for all that you've been doing. This particular group, I'm not the best at arithmetic, but from 2019 to this year is barely 5 years. And to be able to have accomplished all of that in this amount of time is a lot. And I can only wish that the future will be even brighter than where you have been so far, how far you've gone so far. And I'm hoping that this helps people who are listening. I always say, you cannot unlisten something, you cannot unhear something. When you do not know about it, you did not know. You are excused. You are ignorant about it. But once you hear it, it has reached your ears, you are called to do something about it. So I'm joining the appeal to those who are listening. You've heard their noble projects, where their minds are, where their hearts are. You will want to go to www.MOHWA, which is MOHWA.org, and not only donate there, learn about what they do, who they are, the membership, and then support any which way you can, because this is what affects any woman or any even individual human being in this world will turn around somehow and affect you too. The happier, healthier, and better everyone else is, the more comfortable you will be your own self. That's what people don't realize. Because people say, what will it concern me? But then the kid that I teach, so the kid that falls astray and doesn't go to school is the one who will come and break into your house and steal. So if you can help him to make something of his life he does not need, he has everything he needs, then you are safer for that reason. So I'm going to go ahead and do the reverse of what I did before and ask for final words from each one of you. So I'll start with Mambi Jenny this time. So what is your final word? What would you like to tell the listening and viewing audience?
Oh, thank you so much for that. What I would say is, I think the original idea of bringing together the MANYU women, like we all have said and heard here, was to first of all empower the woman and the girl child, which to the best of my knowledge, we have done our best with what God has put in our hands. It wasn't for us to bring development to a nation, to make roads or build bridges or build hospitals. No, we were first of all trying to empower the woman, to bring the women together, because as we all know, it's difficult. It's difficult to bring women together. Yes, it can be difficult, but God placed us in this position. I am talking here like the pioneer president of that MAWWA that was formed in Douala. I know what it took, yes, for me to bring women together in Douala. As we all know, we were living in the Francophone, the French-speaking part of Cameroon. And for us to have come from MANYU, like the president said earlier, we were going through some kind of a little bit of stigma, we all know. So that idea to bring us together and do things and empower ourselves, empower our children was a great idea,
Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm calling upon the women, those who are still sitting on the fence, wherever they are in the world, to try and start a group of women there where they are and empower themselves, and together we will really move mountains as women.
Very well said. Very well said. Okay, Mayamba, your turn. What do you want to say to conclude?
Thank you, Sister Egbe. I just want to say that we are not only here to elevate the social, academic, and economic status of a MANYU girl child, but also to uphold and advance the cultural practices of beautiful MANYU regions. And also to make sure that, of course, we're here, we have our children, to make sure they're exposed to this very rich culture from this beautiful land of MANYU. Thank you.
Excellent. Very well said. And now, Madam President, what's your final word?
Thank you again so much for giving us this opportunity. You just can't believe in which stars I'm floating, actually, that this day has come to happen. I've tried to work on this with Sister Irene for a long time, where we could have such a forum just to chat and talk and put our vision out there so people can know who we are. But in conclusion, I would just want to say today, I hope this experience, this first episode, would help us to continue in the same light with furthering the discussion.
Definitely.
This is just a start. And I'm hoping to pass on the message that if you are somewhere listening to us or seeing us, we hope we touched your heart. And I'm hoping, as the president of MOHWA USA, MOHWA Global USA, that this helps us to open doors for greater things to come. That would help us in the future to grow, to raise funds, to help us, to enlighten us, to see better ways that we can together help to foster not just the mission of the girl child, but just the MANYU child as a whole.
All right.
Just the MANYU child as a whole, and that we continue to grow. And you will not believe that this little mustard seed that was started some 40 years ago by this great woman, Mami Jenny, sitting here today, has spread all over the world. And today, we proudly are in 19 countries. Who knew that little thing that Mama Ejara started with her? Mami Jenny was the first ever president of MAWWA, which later on became MOHWA. And next year we'll be celebrating 40 years.
Oh, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's truly a big deal.
Not only are going to the DMV area, which is a place where, yes, that's you will have the whole. I hope you rented the stadium.
Right. So globally, we'll be celebrating 40 years next year. So I'm just throwing it out there. There's a lot in the pipeline coming. And ladies, if you are somewhere of MANYU extraction, either by birth or by marriage, and you want to join this exclusive group of women, and we call ourselves women of timber and caliber, please do so. Reach out.
Let me interrupt you there. Just you, as you said, women of timber and caliber. The thing that came to my head is used to say, "Tick, madam." Tick, madam. That's what it is.
Do you know in Yaoundé back then they actually had a meeting? I remember my mom was in one of those meetings called Tick Madam meeting.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize.
Yes,
but there's some things which you say, and it just embodies. If you know, as they say, you know exactly. You say Tick Madam with her two wrapper like this, such as type.
Yes,
going to a meeting. That is awesome. Sorry for interrupting you, but that came through. That just crossed my mind.
That is okay. So anyway, so if you are somewhere listening, please go to our website, discover who we are, and we hope you would partner with us for greater things to come in the future, to foster our vision and accomplish our goals for the future, not just for the MANYU girl child, and not just for that woman who has been forgotten, but just touching us here, empowering us here too, and then fostering, whatever we can do to bring growth to MANYU division.
And our culture, of course.
And our culture, and that is a very, very important piece of it too, the cultural perspective. Last year, my daughter, during our convention, my daughter danced Moninkim dance. She had never been to Cameroon. But nobody could believe this child. Maybe you saw those videos too, because they were viral.
Some of them. Yes, I've seen some of them.
The little girl dancing, that was my daughter.
Wow.
She had never been to Cameroon at that point. We later on took her to Cameroon.
No, she was in high school at the time.
Yes, but you see, you get her interested in that. She does. She will now want to go see the origin of the whole thing. That's the whole thing. The kids, our own kids here, like my son come and ask me, I saw this person on the Zoom meeting. His name was Dr. Agbombi, Dr. Enombi, Dr. So and so. Is that not a name from our area? And I'm like, yes, there you go. You see, so they're beginning to recognize the names and things and know what goes around and say, yes. Like they say, okay, that is a song. Then they say, okay, that's in Bayangi. I said, no, that the language is called Kenyan, but the people are Bayangi people. So if not for that, they really will be missing their roots, missing
Yeah.
their culture.
And
It's already
lots.
something for some of us out there. Even in Cameroon, if you grew out of the MANYU area itself, there was already a little bit of a loss you got,
Yes.
not living in the village itself. Then how much more oceans away out here? But for these kinds of things where they actually get to see live what is going on, why are they dressed like that? What is this person? What does this mean? What does this masquerade mean? What is going on? It's a very good thing. I really do applaud you for it. Is there a date? You said August, but is there a specific date already for the
Yes.
what are the dates?
Yes, except things change, but we are looking at Labor Day holiday weekend. That will
Okay.
be the last weekend of August next year.
Okay.
And you would be seeing us in Washington, D.C. area.
Excellent. And I'm hoping that before then, you're going to show up again as the things are, as it's revving up, whatever is going on there, what are the plans and everything to come and explain, to come and make another appeal. We are here, we're ready anytime. That's what Vosaworld Radio is about. It's supposed to be to help community endeavors like the one that you're doing. So we're very glad to have you here. It's been my pleasure. So if there are no other words concluding words, I want to thank you for taking the time to come and sit around and tie those wrappers this early in the morning.
Can we conclude with the singing of our national anthem, please?
That would be awesome.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Taking Corina Tino, but Moyan Seme, Porosayanti, Neno Yawo. Taking Corina Tino, but Moyan Seme, Porosayanti.
The woman is not there.
Neno Yawo, Tino, Chichin Goremanyua.
Chichin Goremanyue, Puyang Pa.
Ateno chichin goremanyue.
Chichin Goremanyue. Chichin Goremanyue.
Puyang Pa.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that is the anthem that for everybody that is a member of this specific group.
Yes, has to know how to sing. That.
Yes, yes. And you have a wonderful voice, Mayamba.
Thank you.
Wonderful voice. They say if you quit your regular 9 to 5, you can go make yourself a career.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Egbe.
Thank you so much.
You're very
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure.
It.
Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. And all I wish for you is success. Because what you're doing, when you succeed, a lot of other people succeed along with you. Yes. So it's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.